So I completely understand. Trying to find or develop your why isn't easy. In fact, a few years ago, when this whole concept of why came out, I struggled. It was tough. It certainly wasn't something that came naturally to just one day think of your why. So how do you come up with this concept? How do you develop your why? Well, today I help leaders, teams, companies do that. And it's actually a lot easier than you may think. Especially, now get this, especially if you like going to the movies. That's right, if you like movies, you're a lot further down the path of developing a why than you may think. There are a ton of movies out there, and yet they're all based on this concept of why. Why did a character act a certain way? Why did they make that decision? Why are they on this journey? Every movie's about why. Now, if you think that you're going to develop your why or your team's why, and it's going to fall out of thin air, that's where you're going to get frustrated. So what I try to do is I help companies see that why can be categorized, a lot like movies. Let me give you some for instances. There's a why that develops out of anger and frustration, like the movie Rudy, right? He sees his friend die in a steel mill accident, and he's frustrated with his situation and station in life, so it drives him to Notre Dame. There's a why that is developed also out of love and fascination. So like the movie Hidden Figures or October Skies. Their love of space and the stars and science drive them forward. Even the movie Kung Fu Panda, you could say, is based on a love and fascination for all things Kung Fu. There's also a why that is born out of a lesson learned, right? Even think of the Talladega Nights. Ricky Bobby is taught a lesson, a horrible lesson at that, as a young kid. If you're not first, you're last. And it drives the character throughout the entire movie. This concept of why, if you can start to see categories of why, it becomes a lot easier to find it than hoping it'll just drop out of the sky for you. If there's one thing that movies teach us about why, it's that if you can develop a strong enough why, you can overcome almost any how. Don't underestimate the power of why.